More campaign coverage, some big contests up for grabs tomorrow, including a couple of winner-take-all states with a lot of delegates on the line. Joe Fleming joining us once again this morning with the very latest. All right, Joe, let's start with the Donald. The Trump train keeps rolling down the tracks. What does he need to do tomorrow to further increase his lead? And will he?
Well, if Donald Trump tomorrow can win Florida and Ohio, both winner-take-all states, he's going to be in a very strong position to be the Republican nominee for president. A couple things could possibly happen. If he wins those two states, Marco Rubio and John Kasich both probably get out of the race. It'll be down to a two-person race, and he would only need about 53% of the remaining delegates to clinch the nomination. So he'll be in a very strong position. At the same time, if he loses one of those two states, the Republican primaries can continue on through April, May, June, and possibly have an open convention.
What kind of message does it send to America if Trump beats Kasich in his home state, he's the governor,
right,
and Rubio, who's a senator in Florida? I mean, that is an amazing message that it would send.
It's amazing. It sends a message that the voters in the United States are very upset with the status quo in Washington. They want to see a serious change. They believe Donald Trump could be that change for Washington to shake things up. They want to see a total change in Washington. At least these Republican voters do.
I want to talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend, these riots and the violence, specifically in Chicago. I mean, this is like the 60s and 70s all over again.
Yes, it is. I'm very surprised Donald Trump did not try to quiet this down and say this is not how he wants his campaign to be run. But he did just the opposite. He sort of encouraged it in some ways. He blamed Bernie Sanders' supporters for being there. I think Donald had an opportunity to change his image some by saying, let's tone things down. Let's talk about the issues here, not this type of thing, not these protests. So it's a very different type of campaign we're seeing now. Again, it's really a lot more like reality TV we're seeing on the Republican side.
It really is. And then in Dayton, a man rushes the stage, right, and the next day or later that day, Trump goes on and says, well, he was probably ISIS. I mean, that's not right, very presidential to just be throwing that term around.
No, he's not acting like a presidential candidate at all. He's just saying what he thinks. Obviously, the voters who support him respond to it. It's not taking voters away from him, all these statements that he's making. So, I mean, as long as he keeps getting what he's getting, he's going to continue on what he's doing.
All right, quick thought on the Democratic side. Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, again, big day tomorrow for both.
Big day tomorrow. I think we're going to see Bernie Sanders do well in Illinois and Missouri. Those are two states he has to get some votes in. If he can win those states, it's going to keep his campaign going even stronger, help him raise more money. But I think Bernie Sanders is going to continue on no matter what happens tomorrow. He has a great deal of money. He's going to go into April. We have Pennsylvania, we have New York, we have Wisconsin, states where he may have some base of support. So we're going to see that happen. And again, also in April, we have Rhode Island.
Yeah, you were talking about that. You think some of these candidates might actually make an appearance?
I would not be surprised if we see the candidates in Rhode Island if the campaign keeps going on. Remember 2008, Hillary Clinton was in Rhode Island campaigning for the presidency. I think Barack Obama was also. So I think at that time, if the race is still going on, we may see them make a pit stop in Rhode Island.
That'd be great. Thank you, Joe, for coming in this morning. For much more on the campaign, of course, you can just log on to our website, WPRI.com.